Felipe, this is probably one of the most successful blocks for Leinster during the international stage. What do you put that down to? And do you think maybe Leinster have handled COVID better than other clubs?
It has handful.
COVID?
Oh, no, I don't know if maybe, but that's I don't know that could be an appreciation, personal appreciation from yourself, or like I think it comes down to the competition, the way we train, and the competition inside the the squad, and the guys wanting to improve week in week out, and because no one can take their place for granted. I think every time they step into a pitch and they are given the opportunity, they want to make the most out of it. So yeah, I think it's been good so far. But we always say, you're only as good as your next game. So it counts nothing for nothing if we don't perform at the weekend, on Sunday.
Okay. In celebrating Leinster's 25th win in a row in the Pro 14, did you get a chance to celebrate Argentina's win?
There's not much time for celebration these days, but or new type of celebrations. But I think it was a great victory for Argentina, and for rugby in Argentina, but also for the tournament, and for the Southern Hemisphere. Because you rarely see the All Blacks losing twice in a row, and I think this time for Argentina, if you would expected one game to beat the All Blacks, definitely it wasn't, because of the conditions they both arrived to in that game. It wasn't that the game you would have expected Argentina to beat the All Blacks, but it happened, and it's been great. And I think it happened not by chance. It happened because they played a really incredible game. So fair play to the players, the staff, and whoever put them into that situation, and for them to succeed.
People would say that they handled COVID very well.
Well, they handled COVID the way they could. The guys that stayed in Argentina, or that live in Argentina, they had a very tough time. Especially because they've been locked down for a long time, and when it's lockdown, they couldn't even jog on the street. So some of the guys, they've been like 100 days in a flat. How many burpees can you do there? I don't know, 1,000, but you can't run or do anything else. So I think more than that, I think more than handled COVID, I think they took the opportunity they were given. They embraced the opportunity and took it with the two hands, and that was remarkable. And I think it's a great story.
Thank you, Felipe.
Felipe, just in terms of Dan Levy, again, very impressive performance and one like man of the match. Have you been in any way surprised how well he's come back? I mean, given that he's such a long layoff, he's come back at a very high level.
No, look, it's not that it's surprised. It didn't surprise me, because I could see him training, and how hard he trained and worked to got back, and one thing we always say, and I understand when we come to the press, they are always asking about the injuries and the upstays and those, and for us here, we have something very clear. We will never push someone to go back or get back in game time if he's not ready, So we try to set them up for succeed. So at the end of the day, I know it took really a long time, and he's been through a small setbacks at the end of that recovery, but you can tell that it was the right time for him to come, and we waited the time he needed to make sure that he was in the right form, and he's showing that he's getting better and better every game. He started with some bench performances and coming and now from a starting position he played some 60 minutes really well, and man of the match, and I think I'm really delighted for himself, because he works so hard to get back, and getting back in such a form. It's great to see that.
Two more Pro 14 games to be played before Montpellier in the Champions Cup. How much would you like to go into that Montpellier game having won both of these games in the Pro 14?
Yeah, but you might. I don't know if having won. I like to perform. Rather than winning. I think win is the consequence of performing right. And I think our focus is more on performance rather than on the result. I know everyone wants to win, and we are here to win, and that's the end point. Is we all want to win, but I think that if we focus on performance, performance will give us the chance to have, or a better chance to win, and that's our main thing. I know we score 50 points and beat Edinburgh 50-10, but there are so many aspects of the games where we can get better, and that's what the boys can see, and there are other aspects that we are quite happy, and the way the boys they're approaching it and developing and evolving, that's great, but there's still a lot to work in terms of performance. So I would like to increase our performance and get better at certain areas, so as to prepare the Montpellier game the best way we can. Yeah.
Ross Byrne said to us yesterday he feels his game has evolved a lot since August 2019 when he played against England at Twickenham. He's due to play again against them from the start again this weekend. You work with him on a day-to-day basis. What changes have you noticed in Ross Byrne's game then in that last year and 2 months?
His maturity in terms of game management, definitely it's evolved. Fitness wise, I think he's evolved. He plays flatter on the line, so he's been evolving, and I think Ross Byrne is a great example of how a player can evolve and keep evolving week in, week out. I think he's definitely a better player now. It's not all on your own performance. You depend on a team as well. So it's on at the weekend. I'd say definitely we're expecting a huge performance from him, but it's the whole Ireland team that has to play well, and I think they will do that. They'll play really well.
Thanks, Felipe.
Felipe, Jerry Curry here. Can you give us an update on the injury situation in relation to Tyke Furlong?
Tyke is similar. Like, he didn't develop as we expected, so he'll just need a bit more time. Again, how much, how more time, I can't tell you, and it will be very imprudent from me to set a time frame, because we all know, like, if we would have set a time frame before when he was injured, he should already be playing. But these type of injuries, sometimes you need more time, and the same case as Levy. We are not going to push someone to come back because we are in a frame of time that it's supposed to be the correct one. We just want to make sure that he's ready to go in and step in at the right moment and ready to go and succeed,
Okay, and just looking at the conference A there, Leinster are on 13 points, won every match, including bonus point. Ulster just 2 points behind. And then Ospreys in third place. There's a gap of 19 points between Ulster and Ospreys. Do you think that's a sign that Irish provincial rugby is in a very healthy state and that are sort of drawing away from some of the other regions in Wales and Scotland, etc.?
I think definitely Irish rugby is in a very healthy state, definitely, and that's I think because of good management throughout the provinces, good management in the RFU, but also a great quality of players coming through, and what they do in other provinces or other countries, I don't know exactly how they do it. I can speak how we deal here with the things, and I know more because of the IRFU, the contact we have with the IRFU and so on, and some other provinces in Ireland, and I can tell that Irish rugby is in a very healthy state. Competitions are competitions, and I think we started well. Ulster started really well, and some teams maybe in this post-COVID and also with this international windows and so on, they lost a few players and sometimes some injuries and hard to manage and so on. So maybe they were a bit inconsistent, but we are lucky enough that we've been quite consistent, and hopefully we can keep that run for the next all the tournament, But I don't know. I didn't sit down and analyze all the state or healthy state of Wales or Scotland. I can tell you that Ireland definitely is Irish rugby is in a very healthy state.
Okay, and finally for me, Felipe, just going on from the Pro14 and heading into the European tournament, would you hope that maybe Cardiff and would bring a tough team over, and that maybe there'd be a closer game come Sunday in the RDS?
Yeah, but it's not that I hope. I'm for sure. I think Cardiff will be a tough game in the RDS because we've seen they have they had a good start and they have a very good team. The games they lost, they didn't lost it by a lot. They were very close and they are with confidence. They had a good win at the weekend, and so I'm expecting, I'm not hoping, I'm expecting a very tough encounter, apart from that, they are very well coached and they have very good individual players. So, yeah, I think it will be a tough encounter, and we deal with Europe afterwards. First we need to concentrate on this Cardiff and then Scarlet's 2 tough games.